Okay, I've tried recording this like 4 different times, so I'm just gonna spit all of it out. Excuse all the shit back here, I just got done with an art show, so I have to unload my car in a little bit. And then I was also gonna wait until I got in the house, but this can't wait because this has been on my mind for probably a week or so, and I want to talk to someone on the other side of the screen that is going through, you know, they're going on a journey, they're doing a solo walk, they're not afraid to take a leap, they're not afraid to take risks. So you might be a person that is the only one in your family, the only person in your friend group, that is the person who takes chances. You're the person that moves out of the state, you're the person that starts a business, you're the person that isn't afraid to try a new hobby. And you might be somebody who is following their dreams, and I want to talk to someone on the other side of this screen because there are many times in my life where I feel like I needed a TED Talk, so to speak, so here's your TED Talk. So, where this is coming from is recently I wanted to do this video before, but I posted a 6-month update of quitting my 9-to-5 job, and that recently went public this week. And I thought it was a good video. I wasn't meaning for it to portray into that video, but I just started talking about it, and that's what I named it. You know, I was getting some pretty decent feedback on it. I was like, oh, you know, the numbers are up as far as a count. Like, I've been on YouTube for a good solid year. I've been posting content. When you're seeing this, it'll be over a year. So I've been doing this for a minute, right? And it's not that my videos are bad. I'm just gonna start it with that. It's not that my videos are bad. It's not that they suck. I posted this update and I was starting to get likes, and then, you know, the toxic part of me decided to go on YouTube Studio and like see how many dislikes and likes it had. I noticed there was like 85% of people liked it, and I was like, well, who thumbs down that video, you know? Like, oftentimes when I get a thumbs down on a video, I oftentimes scratch my head because I'm like, well, where's that coming from? Like, I started going down this rabbit hole. I was like, well, what did I do wrong? Blah, blah, blah. At first there was 1 thumbs down, then there were 2, then there were 3. And then this morning I wake up and there's like sort of a hate-ish comment on there. It was someone basically saying something along the lines of, I was posting that, or like I quit my job, or whatever they were, you know, whatever they had in their head or what they made me out to be. It was completely not what I was trying to portray. I wasn't saying, oh, quit your job and be a POS and live off the government. Like, no, I saved my money. I've been trying to be smart about this. I've been busting my ass. This person leaves a comment, and maybe they meant it from a good place, maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. Well, they leave this comment, and I made the mistake of waking up this morning and reading this comment, and I was like, I was instantly pissed off. I was offended. The teenage part of me wanted to be in there and just rip him to shreds and, you know, kind of tell him what for. And then I was like, well, maybe I could take a different approach to it, and I could approach it with kindness. You know, I've done that before. I went through the people-pleasing era of my life. I'm a recovering people-pleaser. If you know, you know. So I have all these different things rolling around in my mind, right? Oh, there's a butterfly. Oh. Transformation. Sorry, I get distracted a little bit. So I'm going down this rabbit hole of things that I could, you know, basically say to this man to tell him off, and basically like, I don't need you here anyway. I was going through all of these different scenarios in my mind trying to figure out what I was gonna say, and then I heard this voice in my head. My ex-boyfriend has a brother, and he said this a long time ago. It's probably been like 2.5 years ago I heard this, and I heard his voice say, give it 24 hours. And I remember him talking about, like, this stuck with me. He was talking about how if you're upset with somebody, give it 24 hours before you respond. And every single ounce of me wanted to just rip this guy's ass apart. And I was like, yeah, Tyler, calm down. And then I had an epiphany. And because I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to let it sit, because I've really been working on letting things go in my life. I'm like, I'm going to let it sit. And I thought to myself, so when I decided to quit my job, the thing that held me back and the thing that kept me from quitting my job was, what is everybody else gonna think? I was so worried about what everybody else was gonna think that I didn't do what was best for me. My mental health was at one of the lowest points in my life when I worked my job, and I'm not downgrading, I'm not degrading the company or anything like that. I just know what works for me and what doesn't. You know, before I quit my job, I was like, I had this little light bulb go off in my head, and I was like, wait, like, why am I giving people the power to have an opinion? Like, why do I care? Really, why do I care? It's not their life. They're not paying my bills. They don't know where I'm at in my mind. They're not living in my house with me. They don't know what's going on. They really don't know they had no idea how bad I was struggling. And when I quit, there were a select few people that were pretty judgmental of me, and I just didn't give a fuck because I just reached that point to where I had enough. And I kind of had one of those light bulb moments today. I was like, why am I giving this person power? This complete stranger that knows nothing about me. He's only getting a fraction of my life out of one small video. And I've been making videos, so maybe there was a part of me that like didn't go into depth. Maybe I didn't go into detail enough, but that's not my problem. Because a person that really wanted to know my story and understand where I was coming from would see on my channel the amount of hell I went through to even come back to art. Art is something that saved my life. And as a I get emotional talking about this, but as a creative and as a person that is meant to create things, and you know that you have a God-given gift, and you know that if you're just going to let it sit there on the back burner, it's going to go to waste. I struggled for years, probably well over a decade. When my mom died when I was 18, my mom took her own life, for those of you who are new. I know I keep repeating myself to the people that are already on my channel, so bless your little hearts, I appreciate you. I quit doing art for almost 8 years. I went through so much shit in my life. Like the 20s were they could have been the death of me. It was the worst thing ever. Had this guy known what I'd been through to even just come back to creating again, it was something I pushed out of my life for a very long time. And then I thought about it and I was like, does it really matter if he knows my story or not? Because I'm living my life for me. I'm doing things that I love to do. I'm following my heart. I'm following the voice of God. I'm following my intuition. And what I want to tell somebody on the other side of this screen is there are so many people that are afraid to go after their dreams. There are so many people that are afraid to even try to do something out of the box because they're so afraid of what everybody's gonna think. And this man referenced something along the lines, and please don't go in the comments and roast this guy, like it really doesn't matter to me, I'm not offended anymore. But he said something along the lines of, I wish I could paint Hot Wheels in my spare time. Listen, buddy, I'm not painting Hot Wheels in my spare time. I'm not only painting, I'm creating content. I post on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, maybe not really TikTok right now, but I hand pour my candles, I make all my inventory, I am keeping up on this YouTube channel. I bust my freaking ass for to have what I have, and it's not turning out the way I wanted it to. And sometimes I wonder if those dislikes are coming from people being disappointed that, I didn't have this beautiful, magnificent story of, oh, I quit my job and everything's all peaches and cream, because life doesn't always work like that. I'm kind of like a piece of sea glass. I went in sharp and life is just softening my edges. God gave me that vision the other day. It's I'm like a piece of sea glass. It's getting tumbled through the waves and all of these emotions and everything that I've gone through. And when you're a creative person and you're meant to create and you have mental health issues, I feel like the most creative people are the people who struggle with mental health the most. And when you are a person like that, you have to create because it's your life purpose. It's what you're meant to do. It's why God gave you two hands. It's why he gave you that gift. It's why he gave you that dream. It's why he gave you that knowingness within your heart. And I just want to tell somebody today, you know you're doing something right. I feel like I'm preachy, but I am on fire right now because I'm not pissed off for me. I'm pissed off for the other people that maybe have low self-esteem, and there's people in their life that are pointing a finger at them. There's people in their life that are putting them down. Maybe you are that person. Maybe somebody in your life is telling you that you can't do something and your dream is out of reach. Listen, the best artists, the best musicians, the best people, the most people that are up here, they've went through hell to get to where they're at. They had that dream in their heart for a reason, and I know you do too. And I'm saying this because not only am I passionate, I know what it takes to go through all of these things in your life. You have a gift for a reason. It's in here for a reason. And I know I'm talking to somebody right now. I don't care if this video gets tons of views. I went through this YouTube journey of getting select few views. I'm okay with that because I know consistency pays off, but I know there is somebody else out there on the other side of this screen that isn't going after their dreams because they have the low self-esteem and they don't believe that they can do it. But let me tell you right now, it's possible. And it's not going to be an easy road, but it's possible. Things are not looking great for me. I had an art market today. I made barely $200. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills in a couple of months, but you know what? I'm going to figure it out because I always do, and you're going to figure it out too. Pick up the paintbrush. Pick up the instrument, do your landscaping, get in your garden, start baking again, start cooking, do the things that you love to do. Play with your Lego set, even if people think that it's freaking childish. Play your video games and try and make money off of it. Try to get into stocks, because everybody who's following this path like a bunch of sheep are the ones who are missing out, because they're the ones who are going to get to the end of their life and they're going to say, wow, I wish I would have did something with themselves. And I'm telling you what, the reason why I'm saying you know you're doing something right when you get a lot of hate is because there's a few bands, and I've talked about this on my channel before. When Linkin Park came out with a new album, it was the black and white cover. I can't remember what it is, 1,000 Suns, I think that was their album. They got so much hate because it was different. People didn't want them to change. They wanted them to remain the same. And the thing is if you remain the same, you're never going to grow. If you don't try different things, you never know what that could blossom into. Now Linkin Park has a new lead singer. They got a bunch of hate because it's a girl. And they're like, oh, she sucks live. And I think she's amazing. There's another band I listen to called Bad Omens. When they came out, people were like, oh, this isn't metalcore. And I love Bad Omens. I think their music's amazing. Like, they're doing something different. And the reason why it's good is because it's different. And they weren't afraid to try it. They made something that sounded good and they went with it, because that's what made them feel good. They created something that they were happy with. They created something that they liked. And not everybody liked it at first. They got a bunch of hate for it. Spiritbox is another one. How much hate they got in the metal world for, the lead singer being a woman vocalist. I can't even tell you how many times, oh, this isn't blah, blah, blah. And like, there's another girl named Poppy. She got so much hate, and they're like, well, this isn't metal. Now everybody loves her. She blew up. And that is how I know I'm doing something right, is because I'm getting hate. And you know what? I could have chose to let it ruin my day. I could have carried that sad aura with me to my art show. I could have felt sorry for myself, because I'll tell you what, I'm guilty of it many, many times. Every so often, there's that little glimpse, because you're human and you can only handle so much. And if you're a highly sensitive person like I am, you understand. But I think, throughout this life, I've got this tough skin, and I know that I'm doing something right, and I know with something great comes a lot of hate. It's on the other side. You're going to hit those roadblocks, and people are going to tell you no, especially if they see something in you, because they're the ones who are afraid to take the leap. They're the ones who are afraid to even try. They're the ones who are scared to take the chance. Not even in a million years. I can tell you almost every single person, at least 95% of the people in my life, there's a select few that are my friends that weren't afraid to do something with their lives, that weren't afraid to start the business, that weren't afraid to try something different. Everybody was laughing at them, but look at them now. If you know, you're watching this. I can think of two right now, Brandy and Tara, my friends. And let me tell you this. This is not going to be an easy path, but I will tell you what, my life, I have chills talking about this, my life is so completely different. Even though I'm not making the money I did at my 9-to-5 job, maybe not even half of it. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, but you know what? I traded a stable paycheck for freedom. And that was worth it to me, because I was fucking miserable. I hated my life. I didn't like what I did. I woke up in the morning, I slept past my alarms. I kind of became a bad friend. I had very low energy. It took everything in me to respond to phone calls. I was depleted. I was drained. I couldn't talk on the phone to people. I didn't want to go out with anyone. Barely left my house. I was not okay. I have done a complete 180 in the last 6 months. Sorry, my camera's overheating. I apologize. My camera battery overheated, but I just wanted to say this because I know there's someone on the other side of the screen that really needed that little boost of confidence. I believe in you. If you're doubting yourself or you don't have a support system, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to be your cheerleader. I'd love to cheer you on, because I believe that God gave you that gift for a reason. He gave you that dream. He planted that seed in there. And if you're not watering it and you're listening to the opinions of other people, it's basically like giving your plants no water to grow. You're going to get deprivation and you're not going to flourish into who you're meant to be. And maybe you don't know how to start, but all you got to do is just pick up a paintbrush. If you're an artist, start a Facebook group. Invite everybody you know. If you don't know anybody, start researching on Google local vendor markets. You don't need a fancy tent. All you need is a couple tables, a couple tablecloths, and you need to put a price tag on your stuff. And it's not going to be an easy road. Sometimes people blow up right away, and then there's people like me who have to fight for everything in their life, and maybe you're one of them people too, but I believe in you. I really do. I don't know you, but I know that every single one of us has the capability to make our dreams come true, because I've seen people on the internet. I've seen people in my real life start from nothing. I've seen drug addicts go to prison and come out, and within a year they're a millionaire because they went for it. They had no fucks given. And maybe you're one of them people that is just lacking a little bit of encouragement today. So I hope this gave you some encouragement. I know it's a different kind of video on here, but God, it breaks my heart that people would even tell you that you couldn't do something. That's freaking devastating. So they're wrong, and you can do it, and I believe in you. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to get off before it gives me the temp sensor heat advisory. But anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to get my ass in the house. It's freaking hot in my car. Now I know, I understand why you shouldn't leave your dog in a car, so yeah. I'm going to bring my stuff inside, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you go after your dreams.